Well, you might not see as many new construction projects around Greenville soon. The city is looking at passing a temporary moratorium on new development.
We reached out to city leaders to find out more, and Fox Carolina's Grace Runkel is live in downtown. Grace, now what would this actually mean if it was passed?
Well, City Council is looking at where big developments like the one behind me here, the Camperdown development, specifically those Deca apartments, where buildings like those can go. They say downtown is fine, but right now city planning documents allow big developments like that to go even in residential areas right next to a single family home. So they're looking at changing that and changing those rules. That's something the city hasn't done in about 15 years.
Well, I love the construction. I think it's a growing, thriving city.
Greenville city leaders are now trying to balance that growth with preserving what's already here. City Council took its first look at a moratorium that would ban new multifamily and commercial buildings from being built right beside single-family homes for the next 6 months.
Pause it. Stop it. Whatever y'all are doing, you should stop it.
More than 9,000 multifamily units have been built or planned in the last 6 years. For Tijana Johnson, the biggest concern is the cost of the growth.
Really expensive now. This area used to be cheap. Now it's like $2,000 for like a 1-bedroom.
But for city leaders, the worry is commercial creep. They fear too much in residential areas will lead to parking shortages, more noise complaints, and it will make those areas less walkable. Pausing now would allow them to make changes to the city's land management ordinance, which determines what can be built where. But the ordinance specifically says building could continue in other spots, like here.
Community Park, again, more construction, but look what they're doing for the city. More green space, checks and balances.
Greg Klutz says Greenville's growth was one of the reasons he moved here 2 years ago. But he says it could be time for some long-term planning.
I think it's a growing, thriving city. I think it's a good deal, but yeah, where does it end? At some point, you have to wonder, when does it end? When does it slow down? How far do we go?
So what drew you to come here? Now, if this moratorium idea sounds familiar, that's probably because just 1 week ago, we were in Clemson talking about a very similar ordinance that city leaders there were looking at. They're taking their first vote on Thursday, but here in Greenville, we're not going to see the moratorium go back in front of City Council again until next month on April 26th. But of course, we're going to be following that very closely. We know this is an issue that's very important to a lot of our viewers. Back to you.